who had, well, maybe you do. I think Hawaii is the best temperature so far, because what we had in Florida was 70 degrees. So good for you enjoying that Hawaiian temperature. Okay, great.
I know that would be nice to be in Hawaii. Dr.
It
Dieter,
would-
I just sent you a private message. I just sent you a
Okay.
private message. If you look real quick and add a person as a co-host, that's going to help us. Tell us
Absolutely,
anything you do.
absolutely.
And why you look at that, I'm just kind of excited about the people that are coming in from all over the country. Thank you for braving the weather. We were hoping that we get a big turnout tonight while people are locked in for a storm.
Yes.
Dr. Kenny and I were both supposed to be in Dallas. Today we did not. We both got snowed out. Thank you.
I at least made it back.
That's good. It's good to be home. Okay. Let's see. All right. We still have quite a few people trickling in. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the record button and we'll start. Thank you guys for sharing this. And let's share.
This meeting is
Thank
being
you
recorded.
very much, you guys, for deciding to share your evening with us tonight. I think it's a good opportunity with much of America on the inclement weather and being snowed in multiple parts of the countries, to spend your time this evening with us, listening to something fascinating. So thank you for honoring the invitation of whoever got you here tonight. And I'm going to share my screen and we will get started with the show. Okay. Let's see. Share screen. All right, I hope you guys can see my screen. Can you all see my screen? Can somebody say yes?
It's black right now, Dr. Dieter.
It's black? Okay. I think I know exactly what the problem is. Okay, that is it. That's what it is.
We'll be streaming live, folks, so just give it just a second for Dr. Dieter. Getting this ready for tonight's seminar. Sorry, those of y'all give it just a moment. We'll take care of that. Glad that you guys are here. And just stick around.
It should work now.
Let's see if we got it. And hopefully. Maybe not.
How about that? You see my screen?
Nope.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, let's see what's going on.
Hey, Chris, good to see you. Stick around. We're going to get it worked out right here. This is live streaming from Dr. Dieter.
Chelsea,
So
Wi-Fi.
this is his presentation.
There you go.
Awesome.
Okay.
I know he's working on it. So where are you coming in from, Chris? I'm up in Anchorage, Alaska, actually doing this.
All right, I promise I got it now.
He promises. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed. Prayers lifted. It's a Sunday. Let's see what happens.
There we go.
We're hoping. Come on, doctor. I'm learning not to trust doctors.
Are we in business?
There we go.
We're good, brother.
Wonderful. Sorry for the glitches. Welcome. Thank you for sharing your evening with us. My name is Dr. Dieter, and I'm a board certified internist as well as a board certified pediatrician. And I want to ask us this question. Why are we so sick today? That's the pressing question. And the answer is simple. We're sick because we eat in ways that harm our body's natural biology. You see, food is supposed to be medicine, and in the same light, food can be poison. And unfortunately, we're eating in ways that affect two of our body's key systems, two key systems of the body. What's that? How the body makes energy and how the gut functions. And those two entities, how our gut functions, are the reason why we are so sick today. And I want to break this down very simply. I want to talk about how our body makes energy, link that to why we're sick, and how the gut functions and links that to why we are sick. So let's start with how our body makes energy. Our body energy needs depends on the hormone insulin. Insulin is a very critical hormone that stands central in helping our body secure its energy needs. Now, how does insulin do that? It does it in this way. The job of insulin is to mobilize when we eat. The end product of absorption is the release of glucose into the blood. Okay? That glucose has to be mobilized into the cell. The job of insulin is to mobilize that glucose out of the cell, out of the blood into the cell. In the cell, there's a special organelle in the cell called the mitochondria. The mitochondria, guys, is like the energy factory of the cell. In the mitochondria, what happens is that the glucose goes through a complex series of reactions in the mitochondria with the release of an energy molecule called ATP. Okay? Now, and that's insulin's job. Insulin helps to secure the body's energy needs through this process. Now, how are we eating in a way that is harming insulin from doing this? You see, we are consuming 30 to 35% more calories today than our ancestors did 100 years ago, 400 years ago. In fact, they say in a single can of a soda, right, there is more sugar. There is 33% more sugar in a single can of a soda than you and I, our great grandparents, would have consumed their whole lifetime. So we are consuming 30 to 35% more calories than our ancestors did. And what that is doing is causing a burnout to insulin. You see, every time you eat, insulin has to go to work to mobilize those calories, get that glucose into the cell. Every time you eat. If we are consuming 30 to 10% more calories, insulin is working over and over again. You see, for example, if you had a job and your employer told you, hey, Amory, at this job, you're going to work overtime once every year. That's nothing. Work overtime once every year. That's okay. It's no big deal. But if that same employer told you, Amory, your boss told you, you're going to have to work overtime 35% of the time, or 30% of the time every day, you're going to have to do 30% overtime every day. What's going to happen to you? I found out, because you're now working 30% overtime every day. So because we are consuming 30 to 35% more calories, than we're supposed to, we have caused insulin to work 30 to 35% over time every day, and insulin has gotten burnt out. If you get burnt out as an employee, you become an inefficient employee. You cannot do the job that you usually did well. And so when insulin gets burnt out, insulin can no longer secure the body's energy needs. There is a breakdown in this process of insulin securing the body's energy needs. We call that breakdown insulin resistance. That's what we call that breakdown. And when you have that, it causes you now to have issues. You see, every cell in the body requires energy to function. The smallest entity of the body is a cell. Cells group up to form tissues, organs, systems, the whole man. When a cell doesn't have the energy it needs to function because insulin has not been able to procure that energy, the cell malfunctions. The simplest definition of a disease is a group of cells, tissues, organs, or system that has malfunctioned. So I've eaten our way to insulin being ineffective in handling the body's energy needs. That's problem number one. And when that happens, we say you have insulin resistance, and it results in a slew of illnesses. All these diseases, unfortunately, are not exhaustive of all the diseases that one will have if you're insulin resistant. When insulin cannot make energy properly, and the cell doesn't have the energy it needs, then malfunction sets in. Remember, as I defined a disease as a group of cells, tissues, organs, or systems that have malfunction. And why did they malfunction? Because they lack energy. Heart disease, fatty liver disease, polycystic ovarian syndrome, the most common cause of infertility and irregular periods and heavy bleeding in women, all come from insulin not being able to, to secure the body's energy needs. Diabetes, obesity. And again, guys, this list is not exhaustive. There's so many other diseases that result in that. As a result of insulin not being able to secure the body's energy needs. Now, the second thing why we are sick is how our gut functions. And how our gut functions depends on the population of healthy bacteria in our gut. You see, this is our gut. Our gut population of bacteria in our gut that is vital to the health of the gut, which helps the gut to function the way the gut is supposed to design. That bacteria in the gut is called the microbiome, and they live in what we call a 50-50% proportion. 50% of them are what we call bad bacteria, and the other 50% of them are what we call good bacteria. Okay, that is our gut. Now, they perform very important functions. When the good bacteria, when the proportion of the bacteria in the gut is healthy, one of the main functions, of the gut, is to train the immune system. You may not know it, but 70% of the body's immune system resides in the gut. The other 30% resides in the bone marrow, the lymph nodes, the lymphatics. And these bacteria in the gut help to regulate the immune system and train the immune system in an appropriate way. When the bacteria in the gut is healthy, they train the immune system, which is what the immune system is supposed to do, protect us. When the bacteria in the gut are unhealthy, it trains the immune system. Instead of protecting the body, the immune system is turned against the body and becomes a terrorist. That's how you develop autoimmune diseases. When the immune system, under the direction of an unhealthy gut, sets your immune system against you. Now, let's talk about what we call gut imbalance. Remember, I said we're supposed to have in our gut 50% bad bacteria, 50% good bacteria. They keep each other in check and balance. We say you have gut imbalance when there is a disproportion of the good and the bad bacteria. the bad bacteria now outnumber the good bacteria. So the bad bacteria may now go from 50% and increase to 70%. And then the good bacteria may now go from 50% and decrease to 30%. Okay. That disproportion, we call that disproportion imbalance. And what causes a disproportion? What causes you to lose this 50-50% balance of a healthy gut? It's one simple thing: the way we eat. And what is it about the way we eat that causes this problem? Lack of fiber in our food. You see, every living organism, whether it's a lion in the jungle of Africa where I'm from, or a bacteria that lives in your gut, needs food to survive. And the food for this bacteria in the gut is fiber. Fiber is one of those special nutrients that we do not digest as humans. It was meant by God, our creator, to be food for the microbiome for this bacteria. So our foods are so processed. We're not consuming enough fiber. And because we're not consuming enough fiber, there's not enough food to go around for the good and the bad bacteria. Let me put it in context here. You see, they say an average man is supposed to consume 38 grams of fiber a day. A woman should be consuming 20 fiber a day. Our foods are so processed in the United States. Is estimated by the NIH that the average man and woman takes in 10 to 12 grams of fiber a day. Now, when there is a shortage of food, what happens is it sets into motion survival of the fittest. In the survival of the fittest fight, the bad bacteria, the stronger bacteria. Okay? Because they're stronger, they're going to hoard the little food, the little fiber that is there to themselves. And then because they're stronger, they say, you know what? We don't got enough food for us, the bad guys and the good guys. You know, let's go ahead and increase our army to keep a monopoly on this little food that is there. And so it causes that disproportion, a rise in the bad bacteria at the expense of a decline in the good bacteria. And you call that gut imbalance. Now, when you have gut, all the functions that the gut is supposed to maintain, the gut is now unable to maintain. And when the gut is now unable to maintain those functions, you now begin to have diseases that come as a result of the lack of a normal functioning gut. Gut imbalance diseases. You start having diseases like autoimmune diseases, Hashimoto. Remember, I said that 70% of the immune system resides in the gut, and the bacteria in the gut is responsible for training the immune system. So when you now have gut imbalance, this 70 to 30% disproportion, the immune system, which was meant to protect you, now turns against you. You start having Hashimoto's, lupus, autoimmune disease, MS, autoimmune disease, celiac, autoimmune disease, colon cancer, highly linked, to gut imbalance. If you want to decrease your risk of colon cancer down the road, having a good gut, a healthy gut is important. I want to highlight anxiety and depression. And before I highlight that, I want to say this slide is not exhaustive. So many diseases in modern day society that are the result of gut imbalance that I cannot display on the slide. This is just a depiction of some of the diseases. But I want to highlight anxiety and depression because I found this to be interesting. Actually, 3 years ago, when I first learned that anxiety and depression were principally as a result of gut imbalance. You see, there is a hormone called serotonin. Some people call it a neurotransmitter. It is our happy hormone. It helps to maintain our mood, okay? Did you know, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that 90% of that hormone is produced in the gut? When I was in medical school, I thought all of this hormone was produced in the central nervous system. 90% is produced in the gut. The other 10% of this hormone is produced in the central nervous system. So now, when your gut is unhealthy, you have gut imbalance, the factory that makes this hormone cannot produce that hormone. It makes sense that you have anxiety and depression. Now, these two things, which I mentioned that are at the core of why we are sick, they steal our energy. They steal the fuel, the energy that the body needs to run. As much as the evidence show that these two things cause all the modern day diseases, good news for us is that there is no evidence that says that if we could reverse the root cause, if we could restore how the body makes energy and restore the balance of both of which resulted in stolen energy, decrease in energy. If we could restore those two things and restore the energy balance, the diseases that came as a result of the imbalance of energy or the shortage of energy, those diseases can be reversed. And that should be good news to us. You see, if Kendra, if I gave you a time machine and I told you, Kendra, go back 200 years in the past and come back and report to me if you found any of your ancestors with high blood pressure or diabetes or high cholesterol, you come back and tell me they didn't, because they ate in ways, that kept those two systems healthy. You see, our ancestors did not eat 3 meals a day. If I said we eat meals a day today, it will be an oversimplification because we're snacking throughout the day. And when we're overeating, we're burning out insulin. Our ancestors consumed foods that were 100% natural. And as a result, one of the things is that they were consuming about 80 to 90 grams of fiber. So I want to present to us a solution that helps us address the two issues, how the body makes energy and how to restore the balance of the gut. Because if you can restore those two things, those diseases go away. If I'm driving a car and the car runs out of gas, that can stop because its energy source is gone. If I go to the gas station, buy gas, and return back to my car on the road that has stopped and refuel that car starts again. The car starts again because you have given it back energy. It is the same with the body. It is so profound but so simple. These diseases are the result of energy shortage that come from the way we eat. And if you can restore that energy shortage by reversing the root cause, those diseases go away just like that car. So I want to talk about a solution called the Feel Great system. It uses the science of intermittent fasting and fiber supplementation to reverse the energy problem, the insulin resistance, as well as reverse the gut imbalance. This is science. It is not voodoo. It is not magic. Using the science of intermittent fasting and fiber supplementation. Remember, I said we eat in ways that have harmed those two systems. So let's see how this product does just that. These two products are called nutraceutical products. And what a nutraceutical is a product made 100% from plants and has huge therapeutic benefits. Let's start with Unimate. It's made from a plant called the yerba mate plant native to South America. Now, this plant is very rich in a special phytonutrient called chlorogenic acid. Chlorogenic acid is a polyphenol, okay? And the property of chlorogenic acid is it helps the body produce a special hormone called glucagon-like peptide 1, GLP-1. When your body produces GLP-1s, it helps you not to feel hungry. We are going to be we want to go back to simulate what our ancestors did well that kept their bodies making energy well and kept gut functioning well. And one of the things our ancestors did not do was they did not eat 3 meals a day, or they did not snack throughout the day. We have eaten ourselves, dysfunction of these two systems. How did insulin get burned out? Insulin got burned out by walking 30 to 35% over time. When you are burnt out, the best way to recover from that out is rest. You have to have a rest from your job or whatever you. So we're going to use intermittent fasting because intermittent fasting helps to give insulin a rest. When the body is fasting, what happens is you're not taking in glucose. Because you're not taking in glucose, insulin doesn't have to go to work. If insulin got burnt out because of overworking and you rested, it can now recuperate from its burnout. And when insulin recuperates from its burnout, it can now go back to being able to secure the body's energy needs. So this product called the Unimate helps you to fast. What we recommend for people to do on this is 16 hours. Fast for 16 hours. No longer eat breakfast and eat only lunch and dinner. And this makes it seamless to do because when you consume this, it shuts off the hunger center of the brain and causes you not to feel hungry during breakfast. You see, our ancestors, some people estimate that our ancestors ate 3 to 5 meals a week, and they were not eating their insulin to burn out. So what do I do with this? This is the first product called the Unimate. So what I do with it is I wake up in the morning. So I've reduced myself to 2 meals a day, lunch and dinner. We recommend that you not have breakfast or breakfast as a meal and have just lunch and dinner. It's the biggest lie that they tell us that breakfast is the most important meal. Breakfast is the most how can I put it, is the meal that will mess up your metabolism the most. Okay, it's not the most important meal. Now, so what do? I don't eat breakfast. I eat lunch and dinner on this protocol, and that's what I recommend you to do. And you eat lunch and dinner, and you give your insulin a rest at breakfast. So after dinner, let's say you have dinner at 7 p.m. and you go to bed at 10 p.m. You don't have anything else to eat after dinner, and you wake up in the morning at 7 a.m. So you ate dinner at 7 p.m. You've gotten up in the morning at 7 a.m. You have already been fasting for 12 hours. We want you to just fast for another 4 hours to continue to keep insulin on bed rest to recuperate from the burnout. Just add another 4 to this to get to 16 hours. And when you consume the Unimate, the product comes with a bottle. You fill the bottle to the Unimate level right here with powder, the product. You shake it and you just sip on it throughout the morning, every 10 to 15 minutes. While you're sipping on that, it's causing your body to produce this GLP-1, which makes you to fast seamlessly without feeling hungry. And during that fasting period, you're giving insulin a break to recuperate. And by insulin recuperating, insulin can go back to securing the body's energy needs. Now, the other thing is that the second product in the protocol called Balance is a product made from fiber, 100% plant-based, made from 7 different fiber plants. Fiber is very important in our blood sugar profile. Very, very important. It helps insulin not work. Remember, we have eaten insulin to burn out. To get insulin back to working well so that insulin can secure the body's energy needs, you need to rest it. And fiber helps your insulin to rest. You may ask me, Doc, what do you mean helps my insulin to rest? Let me tell you something. Fiber slows the absorption of carbohydrates, slows down the transit of food through the colon, and decreases your glucose spikes. If you and I add a high carbohydrate meal, like you add a plate of lasagna, and you had it without fiber, your blood sugar will do this. And that blood sugar may be a blood sugar 170. If I, knowing a thing or two of fiber, came and consumed the balance was high in fiber, and I this, and that blood will be a blood sugar of maybe 80. Why? Because fiber slows the transit of food through the colon. When food moves through the GI tract slowly, absorption occurs slowly. When absorption occurs slowly, the release of glucose in the blood occurs slowly. The opposite is true in the absence of fiber, fast release of glucose in the blood. So that's you. You have consumed your lasagna without fiber, your blood sugar has gone up to 170. Your pancreas is going to have to produce a commensurate high amount of insulin to deal with that blood sugar 170. For you, your pancreas is going to produce maybe 20 units of insulin. For me, my pancreas is going to produce a commensurate low amount of insulin to deal with that blood sugar of 80. If your insulin is burnt out, if you're deploying 20 units of insulin to put to rest, and I'm only deploying 5, whose insulin is resting more? Mine. So that's what fiber does to rest your insulin. You rest your insulin, it recuperates from the burnout, it could begin to restore the body's energy needs. That is what fiber does hugely. Fiber also, so that is what fiber does to insulin. The last thing is that fiber is food for the bacteria in the gut. So it helps to reverse the gut imbalance. If you remember, I mentioned that, the reason we have gut imbalance is because of a shortage of food. Our foods are so processed, we're not consuming enough fiber. So by just taking the balanced product, goes to give the good guys and the bad guys enough food to eliminate the in-house fighting. And how do you take the fiber product? The fiber product, which is called balance, we recommend that you take it once a day before your heaviest meal. So on this nutraceutical protocol, you're going to be on 2 meals a day, lunch and dinner. You skip breakfast. If lunch is your heaviest meal, you're going to take it 5 minutes before lunch. You're going to fill this bottle, to this level called the balance. And you just dump the powder in it, shake it, and drink it all at once before having your meal. If dinner is your heaviest meal, take it 5 minutes before that. Just doing these 2 things will go to help to reverse the energy issues and reverse the disease. We now, the diseases that came as a result of that will go away because you're now restoring the energy problem that caused these diseases in the first place. So I will end by asking the question again, why are we so sick today? The answer is simple. We have eaten our ways in the way to systems of the body, energy and how the body functions. And if we can restore those 2 things, restore how the body makes energy and the balance of the gut, the diseases that came as a consequence to this will go away, just like that car that stopped on the road because of lack of gas roared back to life again. And the Feel Great system has become, as a functional medicine doctor, it has become one of my favorite tools in helping people take back their life, reclaim their health again. And I want to end by making this bold statement. If you have an autoimmune, if you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, fatty liver, you name it. By correcting these two biological systems, you could reclaim your health again. Thank you. I'm gonna pass it over to my moderators, and we'll take share some testimonies of people's lives and take some questions.
Hey, thank you. So I am going to add a spotlight to me and Dr. Kenny. Spotlight and have you unmute as well. So
Thank you,
we're
Dr. Dieter.
excited to have you here. We want of what it is that we are doing here and show you some examples of people who have had an experience with this already. These two people that are in front of us, because you're seeing them in a post usage state. But our friend Dr. Dieter here, I want to give you the example real quick of Dr. Dieter came here from Cameroon, and he started eating what we call the standard American diet, and this is what he looked like. What happened then was he discovered on his own intermittent fasting. In 5 years, he went from this picture on the left in the green pants to this picture of him in the black jacket. So that was 5 years fasting and jogging. Then he got busy with his job. He's at ER. 2.5 months using the system that he just described, his body changed, even a healthy person. The other person that you have here spotlighted, Dr. Kenny. This is 35 days on the system so that you have a feel for how quickly this worked. And that's what's helping is the lack of ambiguity. This is Kimberly 6 days on the system. And Kimberly stuck. She's been months on the system. Her life is completely different. It's unrecognizable. She really honestly was unrecognizable days. And now her life is completely different here and here. You can't believe this is the same person. And this is a totally different way to live your life. We see a truck driver that only has access to truck stop food. And even on truck, she was completely able to transform her body. So we see this gone and really much better normalizing blood work. But I actually have two people here that I wanted to have share. So I may need your help. So Chopper is on
here too, by the way.
Add a spotlight.
Did you see him, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, I got Chopper on spotlight, and then let me get Steve as well on spotlight too. So we had the opportunity, and so Steve and I, let me ask you both to unmute. Steve and I have never met before. Chopper and I met recently. We happened to live in the same city, which was how we became friends. We were introduced. So I want to make sure that Chopper, you're able to unmute. So let me start a little bit. So Chopper, you had a chance to use this system, and you tell me a little bit about your story. You had type 2 diabetes, and what happened?
Okay, I had type 2 diabetes going into, and October 15th, immediately I felt the difference in the first day of energy and whatnot. In the 3 process, I reversed my type 2 diabetes, no longer take meds. I've been on it for 103 days now. I've lost 48 pounds. Feel amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No irritation, no inflammation. From PTSD from being a firefighter for 20 years. So it's been amazing for that. No triggers really. It's been great. The depression, anxiety gone. Arthritis is gone. I don't know when it's going to rain now like I used to. Sounds weird saying that, but
you used to be at your own weather channel.
Yeah, now I got to watch the weather,
and now you can't feel that anymore.
My vision's improved. I got mental clarity, no more brain fog. Stay energy all day, jittery. It's burning, and it's been an awesome ride. My wife, Deandra, has been awesome too. It's been great.
I love it. And so your wife too. I don't want to lose your wife's story either, because your wife really has an incredible story too. Just high level, tell us about.
Well, she's right here. Come on, don't be shy.
I know. Hey Dee, we just have 250 people for you to talk in front of.
That's okay. Thanks, guys. Well, I'm an educator. I've been an educator for 26 years. From California, we live in Alabama. I'm a firefighter's wife, you know. With my own career, we had our 2 daughters, and there were times where I felt like a single mom just because I was, you know, at the fire station for days.
Yeah.
And I just remember coming, but I still had my daughters, you know, feeding them homework after I had a full day of educating students, you know, but I had my mom duties to do when I got home. So I just remember coming home exhausted all the time, having to nap at one point, and still today, you know, blood pressure was high. I am waiting to get my, you know, my blood work done just to check how I'm doing. My blood pressure seems to be like stabilizing, like it's getting better. I've lost 14 pounds. I don't come home anymore exhausted. I really don't take naps like I was. In the morning to get to work, and I'm ready to rock and roll.
And when you work with students, that makes all the difference. People at work have been like, "Hey, Dee, what's going on with you?" People notice that you look different and you feel different.
Yeah. And the brain fog is gone. I'm mental clarity. I'm able to just focus a lot better. I walk down my school halls and I'm quicker than some of the newer teachers and our students. It's like, I'll turn around and I'm like, hey guys, come on, let's go. You know? What else, babe? My inflammation, you know, when we hit perimenopause, like that's where I'm at right now. It was very hard for me to lose weight, get very frustrated, but the protocol, like my gut has always been my issue. Like I always blamed it on having kids and all that kind of stuff. But now the inflammation has gone down, my gut, my stomach, like I'm losing weight there in those areas that I've had issues with, you know, so it's kind of cool. Because as a look nice, you want to, all the things, you know, be able to fit in the pants without, you know, in the outfit or whatever, that, you know, just to look nice. But, you know, that has been one of my biggest like issues and always self-conscious, I guess. And so it's going down. So I'm just excited.
I love it. And you look different from when I first met you, which was not very long ago. So your husband reversed type 2 diabetes, changed his pant size, looks like a different, he looks, no joke, 10 years younger than
Still 20 years younger though.
A month ago. You do. And so that's what's amazing when you get your insulin levels down. Everyone gets younger. Everyone looks younger. 90 days later, they're younger. So Chopper and Dee entered this product, you introduced the system to a friend of yours, Steve, which we have on. Steve and I have never met, but I'm so excited Steve's on. Steve, share with us your story. You found a Chopper reached out and was like, hey, to try this, I know you're suffering. Walk us through what happened with you in the last couple of weeks.
It's just, the journey has been incredible. In fact, you know, I was, you know, kind of similar stories with Chopper as to, you know, 2-3 years back, I was almost redlined. I had congestive heart failure, 15% only working, you know, body, the ticker. And so ejection fraction, I'm talking about my ejection fraction. Before starting, my ejection fraction has been about 40. So now I feel much more energized in just 2 weeks. I wanted to share a little quick story about what happened yesterday. And like I said, I just started 2 weeks ago. I've been kind of very, very upset about not putting on the shoes that I love wearing. And I've been wearing these ugly diabetic, I mean, they feel like the slippers from hell. I'm sorry, but that's the best way to say it. And yesterday I was able to not only put it on, but we went to a Bollywood Indian function that kind of had the doctor who sponsored it is a TMS doctor, who I would like to potentially invite tomorrow to come and join us. And so to make a long story short, I was not only able to wear those favorite shoes, I put on my suit that I wore about 3.5 years ago before the horrible incident. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna start looking like the John Travolta on Saturday Night Live. And I kind of looked at myself and I said, you don't look too bad. So I get out there, and not only they did the big fashion show and the Bollywood dances, and at the end they had one kind of thing was open season dancing, and I was able to dance for 30 minutes nonstop. And my wife said, do you need to stop? She kept on giving me these nonverbal cues. And she said, maybe it's time for you. And I just was like a bunny rabbit out there on the dance floor. And I don't know, it's something.
And this is after, take us back a couple weeks ago. This was, you would describe yourself as walking like a penguin. Like you couldn't really walk very well. And
That's what
you're
my wife
wearing
called me.
regular shoes and you're on the Bollywood dance floor showing your moves to the point that your wife's like, hey honey, should you sit down?
I mean, normally I do. And seriously, my focus has gone up. My energy level has gone up. I guess, of course, what everybody else or Dr. Dieter also mentions, that less sleep. And I think Chopper mentioned that too. And I mean, it's just a whole new me coming out that I wanted to be. And I was really suffering depression, like, that kind of a feeling that this is my new life,
Mhm.
and they have a number of doctors who are treating me, including my heart cardiologist doctor. He has told me that you're not going to be ever able to travel the world or go to India or the places I want to go. And you know what? I'm going to prove them wrong.
Yeah. Let's make a lie out of him. I was gonna ask, if you don't mind, Steve, because if you had heart failure with an ejection fraction of 40, um, the mechanical issue of your shoes and all of that, and but the other issue of your heart function, I'm sure you will get fatigued very easily. Then is that why your wife was surprised that you went on for 30 minutes, dancing without an issue?
I believe so. And the
Okay.
fatigue factor, brain fog, everything, coupled together. And you know what? This is a new penguin that you are, and I hate to label myself and do that, but it became the absolute truth for me. And only if you're living in a body that has problems, then you kind of become a believer of a total new you. So I'm so jazzed up about this, and I want to probably try to get my TMS doctor, Dr. Kirti Sundar, tomorrow, and I'm going to share some of the things that you have put together, and maybe he runs a thriving private practice here in Palm Springs, California, and also we run we have two businesses. We have for about 30 years we've been doing international shipping and logistics and businesses, and the other one is we do medical billing for several doctors, including an internal medicine,
Wow.
like the
Yeah.
specialty you are, Dr. Dieter. But so it's keeping us busy. And about 3 days ago, I was able to go to the office because I hated to show myself to go into the office because I look like a penguin walking in, and all our staff would be like looking at me, and they're all nice people, but I had a feel
Yeah.
problem about how people looked at me.
Yeah.
Now I can probably go in and show my face in a much different way.
Oh, I
Great.
love that.
I'm glad to hear about this, and I'll be interested in seeing what your ejection fraction becomes 2, 3 months from now, because the number one cause of congestive heart failure is insulin resistance.
Hey, Dr. Dieter, did I send you that video? Brother, so what you're piggybacking on what you're saying, they're showing now because the protocol gets us in ketosis, they're showing how that can increase the ejection fraction up to 40%.
I'm
It's
not
not just
surprised.
the brain health, right, that we know about, but now
Yeah.
they're showing the cardiovascular effects. So sorry to interrupt you, brother, but
I'm not surprised at all because the number one reason for pump failure, insulin resistance, number one.
Wow. Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
Steve, thank you so much for sharing your story. So nice to meet your wife, and yeah, get to see your face on here. We see this where people have these significant results in the first couple of weeks on that, which is what is because when people are addressing insulin resistance, the place where you're at, they start to feel better right away. And if you're on here and you're someone who someone who doesn't feel well, Chopper did not feel well. I'm so grateful Chopper lost his life, was brought back. Someone, a nurse, so he's here today, just like Dr. Me, basically, and is here today to live. We have another gentleman, Keith, whose power is out tonight. Similar experience, reverse type 2 diabetes, and is living a normal life because of this protocol. And what this protocol does is it allows you to make the lifestyle changes that you need to make. It makes them easy and sustainable and something that we can do long term. Dr. Dieter, there's a couple of questions in there and the comments
I
that
think
you made.
Dr. Natasha has been taking some questions,
Yeah,
but
she's got
whatever
most of them. Thank you,
questions.
Dr. Natasha.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
And there was just one story too that's serious. Another person that lost 74 pounds that also lives here in Huntsville, Alabama, by coincidence. 74 pounds, blood pressure at a healthy level, no more meds, no more jabs, reverse type 2 diabetes, so A1C from 8.9 to 5.6. Testosterone is an all-time high. So testosterone is a big one too. Dr. D, we talk about the constant brain fog and the energy levels, that place where you walk into a room and you cannot remember why you're there. This is insulin resistance, and this is what we're here to help you get a solution for. Dr. Dieter, I'm gonna turn it back to you. Let's see if
Steve, congratulations, brother. Thank you so much.
no, yeah, so
God
fun.
bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Steve, thanks for being willing to share your story with a bunch of strangers, because Steve is so excited about his experience. He's really blown away and really blew his mind that he said, "Yeah, I want people to know about how significant of an experience that he had."
You know,
Been a
someone was
blessing.
asking too, did you see the one about CKD? So we have someone who had stage 4 that was able to reverse stage 4 chronic kidney disease. My mother has renal cell carcinoma, and her kidney function through this has been able to go from a 23% to 56% increase. And her cholesterol panel's perfect. First time in 40 years, she dropped 250 points on her triglycerides, was able to drop sizes at 78, and she plays pickleball 3 to 5 times a week. So it's safe. There's zero side effects. I just always tell people, look, if you have a family and one of the kids is acting up, that's insulin. And if you can get insulin under control, that whole family structure is going to function better. That's what Dr. Dieter just laid out from insulin and gut dysbiosis, guys. This thing is simple, sustainable. It's plants, and it can be used if you have any medications, any disease process. It's completely safe. So hope that helps.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Dieter.
Thank you. I have a colleague on here, Dr. B. Tazong. She's a lifestyle medicine physician. Should raise the hand to say something. Dr. B, if you're still with us, please, I want you to take the mic.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, team. Can you hear me?
Yes, we could.
All right.
I'm
Well,
trying.
great job as always, Dr. Dieter and team. Wonderful job. I just wanted to throw in a few things because these are questions that people keep asking. The one thing, so not only am I doing lifestyle medicine, I'm also, my background is preventive medicine, and I'm also doing dermatology, both general and cosmetic. And one of the things that is happening now in cosmetic medicine, they're talking about regenerative skincare. A lot of the things that they do, they're trying to make your skin look and younger as you get older. There's nothing wrong with getting older, but all of us want to age nicely. And sugar has a lot to do with how we age. So a lot of inflammation, chronic inflammation affects your skin. Chronic inflammation does a lot of oxidative damage to the skin. So a lot of the products we use a lot of ice or what we call glycated end products, and we're trying to get rid of those. Glycated just basically means sugar, and we know sugar is sticky and it sticks on everything, including the cells in your skin. So if you are struggling with skin issues, you're going to notice that when you're on a regimen like this one, you're going to notice great improvement any kind of skin issue. And I guarantee you, because most of our patients, when they walk in with issues of the skin, we start them off with some kind of anti-inflammatory, and then we get them something that helps modulate their immune system. So how about doing it naturally? That is just amazing. And then the other question I get a lot, people ask, okay, how do you compare this with the GLP-1s? So GLP-1s are great. They work well. The thing is that if you're paying attention to what's going on now, GLP-1s, some people think it's going to be like a short-term thing, but most people are finding out it's going to be a lifelong commitment. Insurance companies are not willing to foot that bill. So that's one thing we need to know. Number two, they have other side effects because they make you lose weight so fast. You tend to have a lot of sagging skin, which is something that we have to deal with in dermatology again. Like how do we tighten up the skin? And so this unicity, you're not going to have that problem because your body has a way of pulling that skin together as you're slowly losing weight. So these are all advantages that you get with this. It's affordable, it's sustainable, and it's something that you can use safely for a long time. Because again, history tells us this is something that has been used for a long time, for generations, for this in South America. So we know it's usable. So I'm just pushing to say, yes, there are options out there, but I'm thinking about it from the standpoint of a physician, lifestyle medicine, preventive medicine, dermatology, and everything that I've done so far. I think this is the way forward.
Thank you so much, Dr. B. Thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you guys. Somebody is asking, what about cancer? This is what I'll say about cancer. Number one, insulin resistance and dysbiosis are the number one risk factors for cancer. Yes, um, about 30% of the cancers that we have are due to genetics. The other 70% of why we develop cancers are due to insulin resistance in the gut. There's now science out there that shows that fiber supplementation, or lack of fiber is a high risk of colon cancer. So if you're trying to protect yourself from developing cancers, you need to address those two things: insulin resistance and gut dysbiosis. If you have those two things, there is a high risk that down the road, you could have a cancer diagnosis 10, 15 years down the road from now. So that's what I'll say to cancer. And if you are a cancer patient already, you want to address your insulin resistance and dysbiosis as much as possible because it increases your survival chances. So that's what I'll say to that. Now, I'll end by saying this. We do these calls every Sunday and Monday at the same time. So if you came here today and you found this information to be very educative, and you wish that a brother, a father, an uncle, a colleague, or what have you was here to have gotten the same enlightenment that you got today, you can invite them tomorrow. There's still snow on the ground in many places. We're still in this ice storm in many places. So a lot of people are still going to be indoors tomorrow. So we'll be doing this exact same talk tomorrow at the exact same time. I encourage you to invite the people who you wished could have come. We use the exact same link. Invite the people who you wish could have listened to this to come and listen to this. If you have a loved one who has high blood pressure, imagine them living a life without having high blood pressure anymore. If you have a loved one who had diabetes, imagine them living a life without diabetes anymore. You name your disease. And this is what this is. We want as many people to be enlightened. Our modern day diseases are reversible if you restore those two systems. end by saying this. We are always looking for people to join our team. There is so much disease everywhere, guys. So much. We're so sick. People are dying in our community so much. Deaths that are preventable. And we now have a solution, to addressing the root cause, to put a stamp on this disease. So we are looking for people to join us on our team to take this message out. The more messengers we have, the more we can impact the lives of people forever. And so if that tickles your ear and or reaches your heart in some way, I encourage you to join us on this mission to help as many people as possible reclaim their health again. And the way you can do that is to get in touch with whoever invited you today. Say, hey, this message I've heard, it's a worthy cause. I want to be part of it. How do I get involved? Whoever invited you today, get involved so you join our choir of taking the message to the community. Thank you again for sharing your cold evening with us. For some of you in Florida and Hawaii, we cannot call cold evening, but thank you for joining all the same. And we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Bring a friend, bring a cousin, bring an uncle, bring a co-worker, bring somebody you care about. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Dr. Dieter.
The recording has stopped.
This is recorded tonight. If you missed any of this, this is going to be up on our YouTube channel so you can check out. Thank you so much for being here. If you are interested in what Dr. Dieter said about the protocol, if you're interested in the team and what we're doing, this is that link right down there. We want to use that QR code. You scan that, you can go to healthyalaska.live. You can check in the profile page on our page here. And reach out to us. And we're so excited that you were here. If there's anything we can do, you let us know. Take care. Go get the day. Make it golden. Go be excellent to one another and go be excellent to yourself.